And I think I could have taken it as a sign to stay home, and I would have done that. Younger me would have done that, wrapped myself in a bubble and just got in bed and done that. But like I said, there was something, there was a deep knowing in me, like this isn't a no, it's a surrender.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Desiree Caruso, naturopathic doctor, and I'm interviewing my friend and colleague, Brandi Garden. She's the co-founder of Aversio Wellness and the author of Healing Your Body, Mind, and Soul. Today, we're diving into Chapter 5, Awakening Your Soul. Brandi, you've said that coached breathwork unlocked something that nothing else ever had. Why do you think it was different, and what made it open a door that other practices didn't?
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't done breath work until after, my appendix ruptured, probably due to the lifestyle I had been living. And a friend had invited me to go to a retreat 3 days later. And I totally thought, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go, but something in me knew I had to go. So it was the fastest recovery ever. And I got on that ferry over to Vancouver Island, and I thought breath work was going to, I had no idea. I had no idea what it was going to be. I thought we were going to sit around and, look at each other and practice breathe in, breathe out. But no, this was on your yoga mats, very deep. And I think because my mind is a gifted overachiever, breathwork kindly asked it to take a day off, and I had never experienced that before. It was probably the first time I would say I experienced an altered state of consciousness. And I'd been reading by that time a lot about consciousness. I was like, cool story. But now I'm feeling it. And we were at a resort called Thai Namera, if anybody knows it. It's beautiful. You're in nature. It was the right place for me to experience it. I was probably feeling exceptionally grounded after that. It was the day I would say my body became the teacher that I'd been looking for. My biology shifted. I felt emotions move that I hadn't felt in so long. And the thinking brain, which I spent most of my life in, 40 years to that point, that inner project manager that I lived by, was able to just step aside so awareness could start to lead. It wasn't mystical instead of physical. It was mystical through the physical, I would say. And now I love it. We've done it together many times. We do it at Aversio. So many of us have found the unknown there. Right? Like switching on the light in a room that you thought had been dimmed by design. And it's something that I will continue to do anytime I feel like I need something more than just meditation, I would say.
Okay, I want to go back to when you said that your appendix ruptured.
Oh.
So you said 5 days before your retreat, your appendix ruptured. And I think most people would take that as a sign to actually not go. Some might even call it a test. But how did you interpret that moment, and what shifted inside of you so that you chose to go anyway?
I was so upset. I think I denied it was happening for so long. I actually ended up driving myself to the hospital that day, dropped my daughter at dance, and then drove myself to the ER. I think, it was the universe sending me a very aggressive calendar reminder. Hey, awakening is scheduled. Please RSVP. And I think I could have taken it as a sign to stay home, and I would have done that. Younger me would have done that, wrapped myself in a bubble and just got in bed and done that. But like I said, there was something, there was a deep knowing in me, this isn't a no, it's a surrender. So I did the radical thing. I stopped wrestling with life right in that moment, and I chose to go, and I had beautiful friends that picked me up with a pillow in the back seat and put me on a very comfy ferry, and the inner noise turned way, way down. And I think I look back, it's not like it was heroic. It was more like it was an exhale that I had been postponing for years. And when I surrendered instead of resisted, that is when the awakening began. I think it was a big physical, obvious marker in time for me.
I love that. And how awesome to have some great friends to take you along on that ride.
Yes.
You teach and you talk about this practice of noticing thoughts, labeling ego, and then also returning to the breath. For someone who is stuck in overthinking right now, what is one tiny step that they can take today to shift from ego to presence?
Yes. Please, let's all do this. A trick that I like, and I will talk to my kids about this, treat your next thought coming in like a push notification. Don't just click it. You can label it. Oh, that's ego. And then you take an inhale and then you watch how it loosens its grip on you. You don't have to open it up. And that microsecond of just witnessing is you, right? That's awareness. To me, that is waking up. So I use it when I'm unloading the dishwasher, or I'm sitting in traffic, or when my brain suggests that I should reorganize my pantry at 10:30 at night when I know I should go to bed, when I hear your voice saying it's time to go to bed. And, it's the spoiler. I don't have to obey every thought, right? So the
Mhm.
practice is really simple. To me, it's like notice it, name it, take a breath, and then return. And repeat it like brushing your teeth, except for to me, it's like polishing your perception.
I love that. Wow, that's cool. Just keep doing it.
You have to
Keep polishing.
we have to build the habit. We have to build the habit of not giving in.
You also give readers simple ways to awaken the soul. You list things like mindfulness, gratitude, and time in nature. If
Mhm.
somebody only has 5 minutes, which practice should they start with, and how can it change their energy right away?
Yeah, I loved it when 5 minutes was enough. You know what I mean? It's not enough
Yeah.
anymore, but there was a time you have to go outside. If you've got 5 minutes, get outside, whatever it takes. If you can get outside and take your shoes off, even better. Take one intentional breath. Even as I say it, I can feel it in my body. Take one intentional breath. So get outside, take off your shoes, whatever surface you're on, you're going to be better in bare feet. And then take that one intentional breath. I promise you, it will change everything. And then when you're there, just check the settings on your reality, right? Feel the breeze. Listen to the birds. Is there sunlight? It's like, oh, look, I'm alive. You are nature, right? I am part of something that's always going on. And we forget when we live so much of our lives inside, I think. Something else is quickly naming 3, I call them ordinary gratitudes, right? And for me, I love warm. So, like the warm mug in my hand. Like, I'm so grateful for warmth because I'm often someone who's cold. That's why I'm always in a nerdy teacher cardigan. Or the neighbor's slightly chaotic garden. It makes me giggle because it makes Craig upset. And I kind of love the chaos of it. The fact that gravity's still working. Like people will say, I have nothing to be grateful for. I have someone in my life that will say to me, I have nothing, I can't think of anything. Well, is gravity holding you down today? Be grateful for that. It's still working. You're here and you're part of something bigger. So presence is surprisingly efficient, right? It doesn't have to be a weekend workshop all the time. 5 minutes with the sky will beat 50 minutes with your notifications every single time.
You also talk about in the book where you're learning about your Ayurvedic constitution, which is Vata. And I
Yep.
remember that shifted everything. I remember the conversations in the office, and it shifted things from how you eat to how you move. What is one Vata balancing habit that made the
Mm.
biggest difference for you?
Yeah, if for those that don't know, Pitta, Vata, Kapha, Dr. Desiree has a perfect balance of all 3, unlike any other human I know. I'm very out of balance with high Vata, which tends to be, high vibrating. I talk a lot, surprise, and I'm cold all of the time and things like that. So for me, the one thing is routine. I
Mm,
can't be scattered. I have I have it beside me. I have to know what's going to happen that day. And I have to build routines in that I force myself to stick to, even when I don't want getting up and going for that walk in the morning, waking up and doing the meditation before I go for the walk in the morning. It was building in the routine. So my Vata used to treat schedules like a personal insult, I would say. And then I discovered that consistent meal times and
mhm,
warm, grounding food, and a steady bedtime. They're not boring. They were freedom for me. I had no
mhm,
idea. Consciousness loves stability, right? Because it
mhm.
gives awareness somewhere to land. So if you think of it like giving your nervous system a comfy chair instead of a standing room only ticket somewhere to a rock concert. And I still like fun and spontaneity. The Vada is still part of me. I just put those things on my calendar now instead of
Mm,
being in the chaos, right? I would say consistency calmed my chaos and routine became my medicine.
beautiful. Yeah, getting those guardrails in there to really help you succeed and
Yes,
help,
and
yeah,
don't
help yourself.
fast, right? You and I have
Oh,
done
yeah.
some. I had no idea again that there's so many people out there fasting and it's trendy, and whether it's intermittent fasting or doing the bigger ones. We did a 24-hour fast almost a year
Mhm.
ago now, I think. And, we did it as a group. Everybody experienced something different. Is great for you. Craig does awesome. Lori in our office. I'm throwing up. And I thought, I haven't been sick in years. What is this? And wasn't really sure. And it passed. And we did another 24-hour fast months later. It was the same thing. And I realized, and when I did my research, yeah, those of you with a high Vata constitution, according to Ayurveda, should never fast.
Mm-hmm.
I learned it about myself. We can't just do what we see on Instagram as the trendy thing. And Ayurveda was it was good for me to learn those things about myself.
You also asked yourself when you were cleaning out your pantry, will this food cause or cure disease in my body? And I think that question alone holds the weight of massive change. It's a profound statement. And some may say that it's bold, it's cut and dry, it's sharp even. Was making that shift scary for you, or did it feel like you were finally coming home to yourself?
That's in that chapter. I remember the moment, and I remember writing about it, and I would say both. Scary because it meant that I was the adult in the room all of a sudden, right? No more outsourcing my basic choices to autopilot. But it was also wildly relieving for me. So my best friend Jenn, in that chapter, I tell the big story about the day it happened. She sat in the doorway with me and I emptied the pantry. It felt less like restriction and more like it was curating what was going to fuel my clarity that was about to come. So I didn't think of it as punishing myself. It was like I was voting for future me with every new bite I decided to take. And yes, there were some dramatic goodbye speeches that day to the brie.
Brie
To a lot
cheese.
of, yeah. And, the sugar, and it didn't need to be that theatrical. But it was the reality that day. So I hear you if you're someone that is giving up something you've loved. I have a good friend that's just recently given up caffeine. It hurts. Have your goodbye. Cry your tears. And it's, there's grief when you lose something you've been addicted to. So for both, I would say for me, it was both. It was terrifying and it was liberating. But for the first time, I really felt aligned in what I was going to put in my mouth.
You describe awakening as a veil lifting. Suddenly, life is full of meaning and oneness. What did that feel like in your body when that happened?
I would say we just were fighting with my headphones earlier as we started. I usually wear the big headphones and they're noise canceling. I wear them around the house sometimes and the whole world goes away. And it's like that. Like the moment noise canceling headphones kick in, except on the inside. If I can, if you know what that feeling, if you've never tried noise canceling headphones, I highly recommend. It's that feeling. Like my body softened, my jaw unclenched, and time stopped playing the hurry up soundtrack that I had lived my life in. So I think people think it will be like fireworks, but it's not. It's like this quiet click, right? Like the lens finally focusing. So suddenly washing the dishes was just washing the dishes. No side quest to fix the whole world before bedtime along with it, right? Presence feels ordinary in the best way. So simple that you almost miss it. So I would say, yeah, my body softened and peace replaced urgency.
What a beautiful feeling. At the end of the chapter, you reference the Johns Hopkins research on psilocybin and mystical experiences. And this particular study explains how there's a sustained sense of openness. How do you see science and spirituality working together in the future of healing?
It's a good week to talk about that. One of my favorite researchers released a study yesterday, and I think science is getting really good at describing what the soul has been demoing for ages, right? We can measure the brain, we can map the networks, we can track the openness. And please do, because I love a graph. I love the data. I love the evidence. And then we have to let those findings point us back to practices that make awareness experiential, like the breath work or the meditation or the time in nature or just awe in general, right? We don't have to choose camps or think of it as left brain and right brain finally going on a team retreat together, which I think I never did. I was like one or the other. And now it's, science is finally validating what the soul has always known. And I think we're so ready. We're so ready for it.
Chapter 5 shows us what happens when healing moves beyond the body and into the soul. But in Chapter 6, creating your conscious business, the gloves are off, and you mean business, pun intended. Is this the start of where you decide you're going to help heal the world?
Oh, yes. Yes. I think Chapter 5 woke me up. Chapter 6 hands the awakened me a job description. So it's where meaning meets movement, right? Values with a calendar invite all of the sudden. So it's where the energy finally caught up to the awakening and it's starting to get good.
Mm, can't wait for it. Be well, everyone.